Alright, today we're going to be changing out the gas tank on my 91 F150 pickup. It's got a flatbed that's been added to it. There's dual tanks. I think the tanks are full of rust scale and such. I have changed out the fuel pump when I first got the truck back in October. However, I only have about a 90 to 100 mile range on the truck before it, I believe, is clogging up and just getting too clogged on the filter to be able to push gas through to the truck, to the engine. So I know when I changed the pump before that I put my finger inside and I did feel some rust flakes on the inside of the tank, so I do know that it's probably going to be best just to go ahead and replace the tank. I do have a replacement tank, I've got a replacement fuel pump. We'll see what else needs to be done. We're going to start out by removing the toolbox from the side of the truck. That'll give me access to be able to unhook the wiring and wiring harness from the fuel pump and the other hoses and things. I've got 6 bolts I'll be unscrewing or unbolting. I've already got 2 of them off, so that leaves me 4 bolts to remove to get the toolbox off the side of the truck. Alright, so this gives me access to the fuel pump, the overflow and the return line fittings. And I'll also be changing the fuel filter out as well, because I know that if there's rust that's getting in everywhere, then it's time to put a new filter on as well. I'm going to change everything else out. Let's get up inside here so you can see the pump. Yeah, there's the pump fittings. Hope that's focusing. Alright, get up under here and show you. There are straps, 2 straps that hold the gas tank on. And for the last several days, once a day I'll get under here and I put some penetrating oil on these bolts and nuts so that it can hopefully come off pretty easy when I get ready to take them off in a few minutes. So there's the other one. Oh, got a little sunlight through there. So we got the strap under here, and then a bolt going through the frame cross member, and then a nut holding the bolt in place on both front and back of the tank. This is a 19-gallon tank on an F150 1991. Alright, battery on the truck has been disconnected, so I am now going to loosen up the fill line, start disconnecting the hoses from the fuel tank. Alright, so we got our fill the valve right there, and let's pull that off. And what that's going to do is give me a chance to look in here. Yeah, that entry port is completely rusty, big time rusty right there. And my finger in here, it is just coated in rust. So let's take a few photos. Okay, the inside of the tank is very rusty. I'm going to go ahead and put the hose back on just to keep any more debris from getting into the gas. I will be siphoning the gas out into cans and then filtering it. Reuse it in a lawnmower and stuff. So we're just going to set that there for now. while I get the rest of the connectors off. Once again, the battery is disconnected. There should be no power at all going to the battery or going to anywhere in the truck right now. There's the return line I'm going to pry up and out. Again, this dirty line, I'll probably be needing a new return gasket. Not a problem. And at this point, I could probably go ahead and start siphoning out some gas and get some weight off of here, and then I'll worry about getting the tank down after I get some weight out of here. Alright, I want to be able to siphon out as much of the gasoline from this tank as I can. So I've got man, this is a small diameter hose. It's going to take a long time. But what I've done is I have zip tied a weight to the bottom of that hose, so it'll stay in the bottom of the tank, and then we'll be able to siphon slowly into gas cans, and then I can filter the gas at my leisure later. So I'm going to go ahead and take off the main fill tube that I loosened up earlier and took off the hose clamp. So I'm going to take this back off, set it aside, and this hose with the weight on it, I'm going to feed down into the gas tank. I do have the truck sitting at an angle, so the back of the tank is at the lowest and should be able to easily get a pool of it to get as much of the gas out as possible. I'm going to go ahead and get the siphon started, and I need to adjust the length of my hose real quick. Let's snip it. Out of the rail here with that. So we just go straight down into a bucket. Didn't take much to get a siphon started on there. So I've got a 2-gallon can. I've got about 4 2-gallon cans and a bunch of 1-gallon cans and a 5-gallon can. Alright, we've got us a triple play of siphoning going on right now. It's a very small diameter hose. I think it's 1/8 inch maybe. It's used as landscape misting line. So we've got 3 hoses coming out of the gas fill, and 3 different cans being filled at a time. Strap done. With it empty, it doesn't weigh very much at all. Just got to get out from under it. Alright, I'm not going to be able to see a thing in there, but I'm going to get a flashlight and look. There's a pretty good layer of sediment in there. Crap. Let's see if you can see anything. Got a flashlight in from the... Okay, what you're seeing is the bottom of the tank. On the upper right of your screen is the fuel pump. I've just got a flashlight in the inlet hole, and then this is the vent hole. About to take the fuel pump out, and we'll get a better look through the bigger hole, and then there's more light in there. Alright, we've got the tightening ring taken off. And then we're pulling the pump out. This is going to be, you're seeing the same thing I'm seeing as I do this. Whoa, okay. The pump is full of gas. Should have expected that. But the filter is pretty clogged. It's the sock filter that goes over the pump inlet. The new tank is a right choice to have made on this. New tank and new pump. New pump will have a new float valve, so I can know how much gas I've got in the tank. It'd be nice to have a clean tank. Alright, I'm about to also show you the inside of the tank, if I can find my flashlight. There it is. Okay, I've got the camera pointing into the... Okay. Now we're looking straight down. We got some glare from the fluid that's still in there. And there's just flakes all over the place in there. Yeah, clean tank. That's what the doctor ordered. That's what we're getting. So I'll put this on the new tank. So it just slides right off. A little dirt. One thing that I am having a problem finding is a new gasket or valve for the they call it a fuel tank rollover valve, I believe. I'll have to look and see, but we've got the inlet for the fuel pump. Here's the inlet for the gas, and then there's this mystery one here that has a rubber grommet with a one-way valve, and it may be a fuel vent line or something like that. It comes back from the engine on a vapor recovery. That's a possibility, but I've tried 2 different auto parts stores and neither one shows a part number that cross-references back to it or a description for an F150. So we'll see. We now have the ring on and the fuel pump in place. Ready to put the tank in. Now this may be an exercise in futility to try to record me putting this tank on, so we'll see. It doesn't weigh that much, it's just going to be awkward while I get everything situated and in place. Myself up under the tank, bend the straps so they fit around it, and then put the nut on the bolts. Alright, tank is on. I've got one bolt threaded, you know, maybe 1/4 inch up on each bolt. But the tank's in, and lines are available and free, so I can rehook everything up. And I'm going to shut this off while I bolt them down. That's going to take a little while. Alright, now I'm going to reattach the fill line to the fill nipple, the fuel supply and return lines to the fuel pump, the electrical to the fuel pump, and then the fuel, I guess that's a vent purge valve, rollover, safety valve. It does appear to be a one-way valve or a check valve. It does not go to the back tank, but the back tank does have an identical looking one from what I can see. So I do need to get it replaced because, like I say, the rubber is kind of falling apart a little bit on that. I'll put a little Vaseline on it for now and see if that helps. Alright, when you change your fuel pump and your tank and all that, be sure to change your fuel filter too. This is a not a fuel filter, that's a coffee filter, but I want to show you what's coming out of the old fuel filter, what was going in from the tank to the fuel filter. That's red, rusty gasoline. And this is what's coming out of the fuel filter. The fuel filter is doing its job. That's clean coming out of the fuel filter. Nasty mud going in. Clean fuel coming out. So just let that be a lesson on what's going through your pump, and that's going through the sock of the pump and getting into the fuel filter. So it's double filtration there, but it's coming out pretty clean, but it's got to be changed and maintained. Alright, I have rehooked up the battery, and you know what? It's already showing a fuel level other than pegged out full. That is fantastic. Let's give it a second to get pressure up, and let's see if it starts up. Hey, and I've got a little over half a tank of gas. That's fantastic. I've not seen a reading at all in the last 8-9 months. Clean fuel filter, clean tank, new fuel pump. Fantastic. It's nice to know how much gas I've got now.